In this video, we're going to be looking into filters. And filters in Tableau have a lot of functionality and a lot of fun to use. So let's go ahead and do that. I'm going to create just a simple graphic. We'll just use a standard one we've been using. Actually, let's do manufacturer, right? We haven't used this one before, right? As you can see, we have a lot of manufacturers. We're going to bring in segment on the columns, and let's bring in quantity. Where's quantity? I'm just going to drop that in text. All right. So we've got a pretty standard data set. What we want to be able to do is filter things in and out. And there's a number of kind of different filter sections. The first is just doing your plain old filter here. Another one is where you have a actual control in there. And then there's the other one, which you've probably seen, which is filtering using a graphic. All right. So let's do the first one. Let's say I want to filter this by manufacturer. Okay, so I can grab manufacturer again, drop it into filters, like so. And if you drop it over the label, it won't do anything. You see you've got that little triangle? That's what you want to look for. Anytime you want to drop anything, just look for that triangle. See it there, you can see it there, you can see it there. So some people drop it into filters, go, oh, it's not working. All right, so you're going to drop it in there with that little triangle. And there's a few things we can do. By default, this is what it looks like. Select from list means you can pick anything that exists in this data set, right? So all this is in here, right? Therefore, if I want to filter certain things out, let's say I want to filter out anything with the word apple, all right, there's a number of ways I can do it. If I want to keep just apple, all right, I can go none, which unticks everything. I can type apple in here, it's not case sensitive, so you're fine. And I can select everything that's Apple. I could do it one by one, but that's super annoying. I could do it in a group by highlighting like so, just another square. And to tick all of them, you just tick like that. Or if I want to tick everything in this group, I just click all, right? And that does everything in this group. And I go, okay. So this is now just all Apple, right? I can do the opposite. Let's say I want to filter Apple out and I want to keep everything else. I can go right click, edit, or I can just double click this. That brings me up here. And we're going to reset the filter. You can see how you got your apples in here selected. We're going to go none to turn everything off. We're going to go all and select everything. And we're going to look for apple again. Right? And we're going to untick all these apple ones. So again, I can just activate in this area, go none, and all these get turned off. And we go okay. And that's it, right? So your filtering is very, very easy. In addition to this, let's say you've done your filtering like this, but there's a few in here that you see that you just want to filter and you can't be bothered going through this filter section. You can use what's called the keep only and exclude function, right? Which these two functions are not limited to just what you're seeing here. They have a lot of applications, so you'll see me use them as we go along in the course. So let's say I want to get rid of clear, right? I can select clear and go exclude. Right? And what you'll notice when I do that is if you go into the manufacturer, it's now been removed as a filter. So doing the keep only exclude, they're kind of one and the same, or they're kind of connected, or they speak to each other really. So you can do that for an entire row of data, or you can say that I want to get rid of this, exclude, and it gets rid of just that. To do this in Excel is very difficult, okay? And the reason is this is a aggregated value, meaning it's been summed up. That means to find this, you have to find all these ones that match corporate. And from there, you can determine which rows of data were actually in here. So it's very annoying, very laborious kind of work. Whereas in Tableau, I can just go, I'm not interested in these ones. Where's the thing? Exclude, right? And another cool feature when you do this kind of highlighting, right? If you just leave it, you'll actually see the quantity. I don't know what that keeps coming up. You'll see the quantity, 271. I got 11 items selected, and it actually shows you what the data set is. Okay, and if you click this, and I only found this out like the other day. If I click consumer, right, it highlights everything in consumer. How cool! That's pretty cool, right? Because then you can do other things. You can keep only the entire column, right? And as you do that, more and more filters get created, right, based on what you've done. So we're just going to go undo. Let's go back to the original, right, from there. All right, let's play with a few other filters. If I double click this again, right, I'm going to go all, right? Or another method, if I go none, and let's say I want to exclude certain things, so I'm not interested in these ones. I don't want to have to tick everything and untick these ones. What I can actually do is go exclude, right, which is this one right here. And what that does is it's kind of the reverse. So I want to go, I don't want to see this, I don't want to see this, I don't want to see this, this, and it removes them. See how there's like a strike through? That's what you're looking for. So if you go apply, we'll just do apply so I don't have to get out, right? It removes those ones I've selected. Now, if you want to show everything in this filter, and I'll show you why you would want to do this, you just click this button here. So if I go use all, it will automatically bring everything in, okay? And that will lead us to our next section. So I go okay. The reason you would want to have all of them in there is to actually create a control for your user, because you're going to be ultimately creating a dashboard for this, which you're going to give to someone else, and you want to give them the option to actually look into their data, right? Without having to do all this building and designing and all that, because you're creating an interactive dashboard. So what we do is we go to filters and we go show filter, and you will now have this thing right here. Okay, I'm going to make that a little bit bigger so you can see it. And from here, your user, let's actually put this into a dashboard, right? What is this, sheet 12? I'm getting to a lot of sheets now, right? Let's make this a bit smaller so you can see it. Okay, let's make that like so, right? So now you have a filter. So when you publish this online, your user will be able to see this, and they can just tick the ones that they want, right? As you can see, it can remember that exclude function. We can actually change that. We can just go edit filter from here. We don't want exclude. We want it to be able to select and deselect what we want. So everything is now ticked, as you can see, and they can untick what they don't want to see, right? And you can add as many filters as you want. So let's do an example where you got like 2 sets of filters. I'm going to delete this dashboard. We don't need it anymore. Let's actually delete this. We'll do a brand new one. All right, let's do the first one. So let's do one with category of sales. All right, let's say that. And we're going to do another one. Oh, sorry, subcategory. Where am I looking for? Subcategory, right? And we're going to grab segment, maybe a third one. And we've got all our values in here. Let's put some color into this because I can't help myself, right? So we got all this. And I want to be able to filter across 3 things: category, subcategory, and segment. Okay, so what I'm going to do is I need to bring these 3 things into my filter, right? And that's very easy. We just go first one, segment. We're going to go use all. Okay, I'm going to grab the other stuff. So category into filters, use all, and subcategory or subcategory, drop that into filters and use all. Now the order doesn't matter, right? So even if I have it like this, it doesn't do anything in terms of filters, right? Then I'm going to go into my dashboard. Let's go build a dashboard. Let's drop in sheet 12, which is just what we just built. Let's just make this smaller so we can see from my computer, right? And we're going to bring in those filters. So how do you do that? First thing you're going to do is you got to activate the sheet that you're working in. Then you're going to go analysis, right? And we're going to go filters. And you can add each of the filters that you have, even the sum of sales. And I'll show you what that does. So if we go category, we now have that first one come up, right? Let's do another one. Filters, segment, analysis, filters, subcategory. And now we've got all 3. So if I'm my own manager, I would want to be able to see what I want to see. For example, I want to see just consumer, so I can get rid of home, office, and corporate. I want to see just furniture, so let's get rid of those. And I want to see just bookcases and chairs, right? Bookcases and chairs. Chairs and bookcases, right? And one thing you'll notice is the fact that I had to turn this off, right? Which brings me to my next point. There is a function called only relevant values, and I'll show you how it works. When you have these activated, as you filter down, you have less and less information. So you don't want to have to select from the entire set, right? So if I right click here and I go only relevant values, if I select only, let's say, office supplies, okay, then in this subcategory list, which is this column, right, I should only see these items because they're the only ones in office supplies. I don't want to have to see bookcases, chairs, and furniture. It's just, it's annoying in terms of behavior for a dashboard. So if I right click on this and I go only relevant values, make sure that's activated. If I filter down to office supplies, for example, let's get rid of furniture and technology, you'll notice how this one actually got smaller. It's only showing what's in here, right? And that's really useful. So you can turn that back on or off. You can show all values. Again, it's going to show everything, right? Or you can have only relevant values. Up to you. Depends on the behavior that you're interested in, right? And you can also move these around as you would anything else in Tableau, right? It would probably make sense to go from, you know, highest to lowest. So in terms of this, you'd probably go with your highest level is category, or maybe even segment, then category, then subcategory, right? So go like that, segment, like so. That's how you use filters, and you can have as many as you like, as I said. And you can even have filters that aren't part of your graphic. So let's say I want to bring in region, right? Let's drop region in there. I can just look at northern, right? And you don't have to show that as a filter. So if I go back to my dashboard, I don't have to show it here. If what I'm already showing here is northern, well then I don't need to provide a control, like so. All right, so that's kind of an introduction with filters. You can do a lot more with filters, but we'll cover that in later sections. Hope you enjoyed, and I'll see you in the next video.